A nationwide manhunt is underway to find who is responsible for a series of pipe bombs targeting key Democratic leaders.
Coming up, we'll let you know the latest targets are and how the White House is responding.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Sarah Kate Caliguire.
And I'm Gracyn Ashmore.
A series of pipe bombs targeting top Democrats have sent shockwaves through political circles nationwide.
The Time Warner Center in New York was evacuated for almost 6 hours yesterday after a bomb was discovered in the CNN mailroom. We'll have the latest on the investigation and how the White House is responding.
Authorities say a suspicious package intended for former Vice President Joe Biden has been intercepted at a post office in Delaware. It is the 9th of such packages found this week.
Clearly, there's a pattern. It does appear to be very consistent. Each of these packages coming from the exact same person or people, the exact same style, the exact same materials. We have every reason to believe there might be some more.
Earlier today, police said they were called about one address to actor Robert De Niro. The package was found at De Niro's production office in Lower Manhattan. Sources say it's similar to the one sent to prominent Democrats. On Monday, a package targeting billionaire investor George Soros was found in a mailbox. Then Tuesday, one intended for Hillary Clinton was discovered. And by yesterday, more devices were intercepted. Luckily, none of the packages were detonated.
We are fine, thanks to the men and women of the Secret Service who intercepted the package addressed to us.
A source familiar with the investigation tells CNN the packages were sent by first-class mail with the return address of Debbie Wasserman Schultz's office in Sunrise, Florida. President Donald Trump has condemned the attacks, calling for unity and civil discourse.
We want all sides to come together in peace and harmony. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. It'll happen.
Law officials are treating the series of bombs as an act of domestic terror. They are also advising the public to remain on high alert. For every woman in political office in the United States, there are 3 men. NewsWatch reporter Sarah Lisi shows us why local women want to see a change.
Mississippi ranks last in equal representation of gender in state government. Locally, women like the chair of the Lafayette County Democrats, Kristen Hemmons, have been involved in changing that.
When women do better, families do better, and when families do better, a community does better. And women vote for legislation and create bills that are different in general from the ones men do.
Political science student Madeline Strataman says men still hold most public offices.
Politics is like the one place where women are still lacking with representation in Congress and in the Senate and things like that. And so whereas every other field is becoming mostly balanced, having more women in politics would really completely level the playing field in every place.
The playing field has already been leveled a bit in Mississippi. The governor appointed Cindy Hyde-Smith as the state's first female senator. She hopes to be elected to the job on November 6. Sarah Lisi, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Race in America is often seen as an uncomfortable topic to talk about, but the university is attempting to change that. Ole Miss students and faculty gathered in Fulton Chapel last night for a UM family meeting. The topic, racial tension, the Confederate symbols, and how that affects student interaction. Discussions involving the Circle's Confederate monument, success of the contextualization plaques, and the history behind the Ole Miss name were brought up specifically. The goal of the meeting was to move beyond our racial past. In Hawaii, they are warned of a nuclear attack, but at Ole Miss, they were warned of a mass firing of a different kind. Many university employees received this email earlier today asking them to fill out an exit interview questionnaire. The email came from Human Resources, but then after many frantic phone calls from the worried employees, HR sent out the email saying to disregard the previous email. It was accidentally sent out to a mass group through their new system, ConnectU. HR also apologized for the confusion and unsettling emotions.
The university is investigating reports of mold and poor air conditions in Crosby Hall after several students complained about getting sick from it. According to the Associate Vice Chancellor for Strategic Communications and Marketing, they are taking these concerns extremely seriously. They have staff members talking to students and parents about the situation. A heating, ventilation, and air conditioning test was taken on Monday for elevated levels of moisture and mold, but the results turned out to be fine. More environmental tests were taken, but they have not received the results yet. Ole Miss is setting out to break a pretty interesting world record. In the Tad Pad right now, student organizations are gathering to break the world record for the largest rock, paper, scissors tournament. The Ole Miss Phenomena is hosting an event which was originally in the Grove, but due to weather was moved. This event is benefiting and bringing more awareness to the William McGee Center for Wellness Education. The organizers of the event will document and record the results and send them over to Guinness World Records.
The Oxford Police Department is getting in on all the spooky Halloween fun with their 11th annual haunted house. NewsWatch reporter Thomas Goris has all the scary details.
Starting tonight, Oxford Police will look to not only serve and protect the local community, but also scare the living daylights out of them. This year marks the 11th time the department has staged its own haunted house. Last year, close to 2,300 people toured the haunted hallways of the police department over 3 nights. The entire event is set up and run by members of the department and local volunteers. Officer Colin Bryant says they are always learning how to improve the experience.
So every year you learn something new. You learn stuff you can do or can't do. It's pretty scary, so people will tend to tear stuff down. So we learn how to rig it up where they can't really tear it down.
Each room of the haunted house is designed by a different division of the department. Bryant says the best part about working the haunted house is spending time with the community and his coworkers.
I like interacting with all the people that come through. I like working with all these nuts right here. It's pretty fun.
Oxford local Kalen Johnson went through the haunted house last year. He feels it's important for the department to have events like this.
They're getting more familiar with the community, and then so once they do building their confidence with the with the community, the people in the community, so you can better serve them.
The Oxford Police Department Haunted House will start tonight at 6 o'clock and will go on until Saturday, rain or shine. I'm Thomas Goris, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Come see us tonight. I've got another knife for you.
This year, all proceeds from the $5 ticket will go towards the Camp Cop and Miranda Anderson funds. Tomorrow, the Ole Miss Department of Physics and Astronomy will present their version of a haunted house for the 11th straight year. NewsWatch reporter Turner St. Romain shows us what people can expect for this spooky physics demonstration.
Head planner of the spooky haunted house, Marco Caliguire, says that this year will be different than in years past. While the physics department has stuck with common haunted house themes, they are always trying to be innovative and do something new.
I would say that every year we try to do something new. So even if you have been to the spooky physics night, you should come back because there will be something new. For example, this year we are going to have some virtual reality. We are going to do new demonstrations, both on stage and hands-on demonstrations. And of course, you will be able to test our famous liquid nitrogen ice cream. So ice cream that is at minus 320 degrees.
Graduate student of the physics department, Keegan Kirpicus, dives into what families can expect to see Friday night and how everyone involved is making physics fun for all.
At the spooky physics night, where we'll transform the entire building, Halloween decorations, kind of scary looking physics equations, and showing demonstrations on how physics can be fun. Also, there is a costume contest for all the kids. They'll be dressed up and there'll be a prize for whoever's the best dressed. And on top of that, you get to see all the physics students and graduate students and some of the professors dressed up in goofy costumes during the stage show.
The Spooky Haunted House will be great fun for all. Be sure to check it out this Friday. Turner St. Romain, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Physics Spooky Night starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow and will be held in Lewis Hall.
A new study by Prosper Insights and Analytics shows that Americans will spend more this year on Halloween than in the past years. NewsWatch reporter Sarah Doan looks into the Halloween mania.
This year, Americans will spend an average of $87 each on Halloween merchandise. Here at Cheney's in Oxford, decorations like this are selling faster than usual. Teresa Flott works at Cheney's. She says they've had more Halloween merchandise this year and people seem ready to buy.
They come in and they go, oh, this is really cute. I don't necessarily need this, but I want it. And then there are some like young moms that have little kids that come in and they're having little parties and they're actually on a mission looking for decorations for their Halloween parties.
Decorations are not the only things flying off the shelves. Holly's Sweet Tooth on the Square has also seen a jump in sales from last season.
We have regular candy corn that we sell all year round, just the standard yellow, orange, white candy corn. But then we have the pumpkin-shaped candy corns at Halloween, and we ordered so much of them, and we are almost out already.
Research indicates that Americans will spend $9 billion on Halloween this year. Sarah Doan, NewsWatch Ole Miss. Happy Halloween!
According to the study, 175 million people plan to participate in Halloween this year. That's the most since 2003.
Halloween is a fun time to get creative and be someone different. NewsWatch reporter Mary Claire Kelly discovered the most popular Halloween costumes this season in Oxford.
Costume shopping is in full swing. Each year, certain costumes tend to sell more than others, but which costume is the most popular for this season? Norma Pruitt, manager and co-owner of Joe's Costume Shop in Oxford, said that many different costumes sell out quickly, but there is one favorite for Oxford residents.
Top Gun's been out 3 times already, so Top Gun's a big going, seller.
Pruitt said that she gathers her large assortment of costumes from thrift stores and other costume shops that she comes across. Skylar Bean said that she knows her costume pick is out of the ordinary.
Well, this is my first time being here, so I wanted to check it out. I want to be the female Chucky.
Joe's opened over 40 years ago and remains busy throughout the year for sorority swaps and other themed parties.
Halloween is just around the corner, and it's time to get spooky. There are a lot of popular costumes this Halloween season, but don't be afraid to get creative. Mary Claire Kelly, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Coming up, find out which NBC host might be receiving the boot from the network after making controversial comments on her show a few days ago.
And find out which former president's daughter might be running for office. But first, Delia Vandevelde has your first look at the current weather conditions.
Hey Oxford, and happy Thursday. Hope everyone has stayed dry today. Luckily, we can expect a sunny weekend coming up, and the high humidity and cool temperatures will continue. As we take a look at the current radar, you can see that Oxford is covered in rain right now, but it looks like it will move east and out of our area shortly. Stay tuned later for a full report coming up on Stormwatch.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfies, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I, Krista, take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said she won't be taking you in as a client.
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
NBC has canceled Megyn Kelly today after receiving backlash 48 hours ago from controversial comments she made on air about blackface earlier in the week. Kelly has not been fired from NBC completely, but according to sources that told People magazine, her show is most likely over. She did not appear on the show this morning, as the rest of the week will be reruns. During her Tuesday show, she discussed in a segment whether or not wearing blackface for a Halloween costume is racist. She received heavy backlash on social media after the comment was made, and Al Roker suggested she owes the public a large apology. Defense Secretary James Mattis is expected to deploy at least 800 troops to the U.S.-Mexico border. They will assist Border Patrol in preventing the migrant caravan from entering the United States. The group started in Honduras and is currently in Mexico. They plan to keep moving north to the United States. The troops will not engage in lethal operations to stop the migrants. The plan is for them to provide fencing, wall materials, and other technical support. The troops will also provide tents and medical care for border authorities. Troops are expected to be in position next week.
A vigil was held today for Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who was killed at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul earlier this month. Supporters held signs that included an image of the journalist and the words, "Khashoggi, friends around the world." The disappearance of the Washington Post writer gained attention across the globe, with leaders from Turkey, the United States, and other countries calling for a full investigation. Saudi Arabia changed their story a few times over the last 3 weeks, only recently admitting that the journalist was killed at the Saudi consulate. Saudi Arabia has stated that his death was a result of a physical altercation with Saudi officials at the consulate. Turkey has been adamant that Khashoggi was actually brutally murdered. The daughter of a former president and a former Secretary of State is considering running for her own spot in office. Chelsea Clinton says she will not rule out a run for office while promoting her latest children's book today. Clinton said her mother has not mentioned running in the 2020 presidential election, claiming this and her work at the Clinton Foundation could influence her final decision. She is currently serving as vice chair for the organization.
Well, if you like cold and rainy days, today was the perfect day for you. I so wish I could have stayed in my bed today.
Oh, definitely, Sarah Kate. Coming up, Delia Vandevelde will let us know if the sun and warmer temperatures are on the way in her extended forecast.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk. No matter what you're going through, I just want you to know I'm here. I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
Whoa. For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
Welcome back to Storm Watch. We are currently looking at a temperature of 55 degrees with rainy skies, some light winds, and a 90% chance of rain. As we take a look at the current satellite image, you can see that the cloud cover in Oxford is very light because that rain is moving out of our area. Now taking a look at the temperatures across the map, you can see that Oxford and Holly Springs are at 55, South Haven at 57, Corinth at 54, and Tupelo currently at 58. As for the temperatures tomorrow, they will be much like today, with a high of 57 in Oxford and Tupelo, 58 in South Haven and Corinth, and 56 in Holly Springs. For tonight, we can expect the temperature to drop to around 50 degrees with still some light rain in our area, light and variable winds, and that 70% chance of rain. As for tomorrow, we can expect to see a high of 57. There will be some morning showers as that rain moves out of our area, and that light wind will continue. Now taking a look at the 5-day forecast, you can see that the temperatures will stay around the 60s and 70s, and sun will be in the forecast for the weekend. Back to Sarah Kate and sorry.
Thanks, Delia. Coming up next, see which former Ole Miss football star received yet another prestigious award, and how the Ole Miss cross-country team is prepping for the SEC championship in Auburn next.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Action.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Good evening, Rebel fans, and welcome to Sports Watch. I'm Jason Price. As if his resume wasn't already impressive enough, former Rebel quarterback and Ole Miss legend Archie Manning was named the 2018 Walter Camp Distinguished American. The award is given to leaders, innovators, even pioneers who have reached a degree of excellence that sets he or she apart from others. The award isn't only for former athletes, as past recipients include TV personality Regis Philbin, entertainer Bob Hope, and the 2001 New York City first responders. Manning will be honored at the Walter Camp Football Foundation Awards Dinner on January 12th. The Ole Miss cross-country team is headed to Auburn tomorrow morning to run over the competition in the SEC Cross-Country Championships. Both the men and women's teams were picked to finish third in the SEC preseason poll, and it's probably because they've been on fire recently. The women took runner-up in 2016 and third place in 2017, while the men are on a streak of 4 straight top 3 finishes. The two Ole Miss squads are pretty young, but that's given runners like freshman Yelvy Taxler and sophomore Waleed Solomon to show that they can run with the best. Traxler won the SEC preview on September 7th, and Solomon has the 8th best time in the conference. Competition begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning with the women's 6K. On to baseball, the Minnesota Twins have made Rocco Baldelli the youngest manager in the major leagues. The Twins hired the 37-year-old on Thursday after firing former manager Paul Molitor, who had a record of .305 and .343. Vandevelde was a player, assistant, and coach for the Tampa Bay Rays, with his most recent position being the Major League field coordinator. Vandevelde would help the manager and bench coach with in-game strategy and focused on the development of the team's young players. Vandevelde debuted with the Rays in 2003 and finished third in the AL Rookie of the Year voting. And finally, the Dodgers will be headed back home down 0-2 for the Game 3 of the World Series tomorrow after losing to the Red Sox last night 4-2. After being down 1-0 early, the Dodgers scored 2 runs in the fourth to give them their first lead of the entire World Series. That lead would last one good inning as Boston would score on a walk to tie and JD Martinez would rip a 2-out single to put the Sox up 4-2. And the score would stay right there till the end, giving David Price his second postseason win in a row after going 0 for 9 in his first 10 postseason starts. Tomorrow night is a must-win for the Dodgers, seeing as no World Series team has ever overcome a 3-0 deficit. The Red Sox will be pitching Rick Porcello, and the Dodgers will rely on Walker Buehler to stop the bleeding. Well, that's all we've got for sports, but if you still want more, make sure to follow us on Twitter at NewsWatch_UM for more of your favorite sports updates. Now it's back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jason. Coming up, see what popular chocolate company will have you paying more at the grocery store.
And see if this will want you to stock up on the half-price Halloween candy before the prices hike. Stay tuned.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh!
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Kisses may cost you more if you're looking for Hershey's chocolate version. The candy company says it is planning to raise the prices of a fifth of its products. No word on which products will see the increase.
Hershey says the prices will go up about 2.5%. Hershey is one of the many companies getting squeezed by rising commodity and shipping costs. It hopes higher prices will offset those costs without scaring away customers. The changes will go into effect next year.
So speaking of chocolate, I know I really wanted some hot chocolate today. Delia, are we going to see some more of this cold weather into the weekend and rain?
Luckily, the rain will clear out of our area after tomorrow morning, and it should be around 60 or 70 and sunny this weekend.
Thank goodness. I'm so glad. Thanks, Delia. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Sarah Kate Caliguire.
Be sure to join us here again tomorrow night at 5 on NewsWatchOleMiss.com. I'm Gracyn Ashmore. Thank you and good night.